to tell you that there is a man alive today who may have fathered over 1,000 children.
Netflix has been good at the documentary game, and almost every month, it produces a documentary that gives out a significant story following every release. Everyone talks about it, which is valid for almost all the streaming platforms' content across a wide variety of genres. Again, Netflix might have struck gold with probably the most controversial information in the past few years: the case of the sperm donor who might have fathered 1,000 children by now. Here is everything you should know about the serial donor case before jumping into Netflix's The Man with 1,000 Kids. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is this serial donor? Before we jump into this crazy story, we have to know the man behind it. The dude who might be planning to be the next Genghis Khan. Jonathan Jacob Meijer is a Dutch musician whose Wikipedia page will tell you he's also a sperm donor. Damn right he is. If a sperm donor is a gig, Meijer will be the employee of the month. Hell, even the year. Jonathan Meijer comes from a prominent family in the Netherlands that includes his 8 siblings, which is a standard for a Dutch family. Over the years, he has had various jobs, but you can check him out on his YouTube channel, where he posts songs and vlogs. Some also include details regarding his reaction to the talk around town, but we will discuss that later. Meyer's first foray into sperm donation came about when he was studying to be a social sciences teacher in college. While there, he became close friends with someone who would reveal to Meijer that he was infertile. The idea of infertility hit him hard, and he got into talking to his friend and his partner about the options they might have. That's when they discussed the idea of a sperm donor for the couple. Now, a 24 to 25-year-old Meijer heard about sperm donation right around the time the Netherlands had updated some laws regarding sperm donation. Donors would no longer be anonymous, which would have a significant impact on the sperm banks, as the waiting period for parents got longer, about 2 to 3 years. So he pondered about being a donor himself, considering the concept felt very noble to him, as these people brought happiness to the lives of couples by a small act. After much pondering, he would finally become a donor, which would then become something that would change his reputation, forever. So, let's see what the world is saying about Jonathan Meijer. After all, it's not every day Netflix decides to make a documentary on you. What is the conspiracy? Does he really have 1,000 kids? When sperm donation was first introduced, it became a thriving industry to meet the expectations of several parents. So, initially, there would be so-called anonymity for the donor's identity, despite continuous debates regarding whose rights are essential in this scenario. Should the donor's right to anonymity be prioritized over the offspring's right to complete identity? Now, remember the 2013 Vince Vaughn film, The Delivery Man, where he discovered that he had fathered 533 children? Later, some of them filed a lawsuit to find out his identity. Yeah, that was a weird one. Eventually, the anonymity clause would be banned, and these donors would have a proper registry to identify them. However, the industry is still highly patchy because there's no adequate regulation on how the procedures happen, and there are cases where the banks don't even come in the way. Over the years, countries would start laying stricter laws regarding this entire ordeal, because there are clear chances of inbreeding, thus amplifying the chances of genetic disabilities in the population. So yeah, Vince Vaughn was not a chill guy as he appeared to be in The Delivery Man. That man increased the chances of a genetic disability spreading all across the country, and you thought it was just another heartfelt comedy, which it kind of is, to be honest. Now, we shift to the matter at hand. With stricter laws being introduced everywhere, the Netherlands passed a law that prohibited anyone from donating anonymously, no more than 25 children for a clinic donor, and banned from donating to more than one clinic in the country. The year is 2015, and Vanessa van Ebbeek is a single woman from the Netherlands who wants to be a mother. As someone who couldn't afford the costs of conceiving via a fertility clinic, she approached the idea of sperm donation. She went to the website Desire for a child to look for an ideal candidate among several donors. Here, she would encounter Meijer, a handsome man with blue eyes and thick, curly blonde hair. One of Meijer's various donor profiles also stated that he resembled A-list celebrities like Thor, Chris Hemsworth, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood star Brad Pitt. Vanessa enjoyed his persona and finally chose him as her sperm donor. A few years later, she wanted another child and would approach him again, but this time she had heard some crazy news about Meijer. According to another single mother she had come across via Facebook, she found that Meijer had fathered at least 102 children. I mean, yeah, that doesn't sound like a significant number, but we should tell you it also doesn't really include the number of private donations. According to the Dutch Ministry of Health, Welfare and Sport, she still wanted her children to be full siblings, so she went for him, but found the right opportunity to ask him about the investigation. Meijer admitted it and also stated that the number was 175 and that there was a chance of even more than that. But he was proud of this number because, to him, it was a welfare that he was doing for families. Evik realized what this could mean and reported it to the authorities, who would later find more donations from Meijer. Even though he would be banned from all the sperm banks across the country, women who had conceived children through his sperm would start teaming up. In one of the scenarios, two families discovered that their daughters looked almost identical. But the trail doesn't go cold here. Actually, Meijer has been traveling across Europe for several years, and investigations revealed that he had been associated with donation websites in around 13 countries, and other countries with fake names. Meijer also contacted Cryos, an international sperm bank, which means that his reach has increased considerably. This information comes as an absolute shock, considering that one of the significant legalities in Cryos is that the donor cannot be associated with any other facility. Amongst the 550 offspring confirmed to be his so far, 375 are from Netherlands alone, 80 of them are from Germany, and 35, 4, and 2 in Belgium, Argentina, and Australia, respectively. Even though a specific number could not be associated with Meijer, over the next few years, the director of the Dutch Donor Child Foundation has stated that the figure could be around 1,000. Now, concerned by the disgusting figures, around 150 mothers ended up creating a Facebook group with worries that their child might, end up interacting somehow. Finally, in 2023, one of the mothers put a civil lawsuit against Meijer to prevent him from continuing to donate sperm to any other parents. In April of last year, Meijer received an order from a Dutch court that prevented him from donating any more sperm, and if violated, he would be fined $166,800. Furthermore, it has pushed him to ensure all his stored sperms in foreign banks. Even though this is a significant move in preventing him from ever donating sperm again, there is one loophole that allows him to continue to do so. He can still provide sperm to the families to whom he had already donated once, like in the case of Vanessa van Evik. What happened to him? Where is he now? What does he think about the docuseries? Now, even though Meijer has been active on his YouTube platform most of this time, he hasn't clarified the case details, but he does mention that he wants to start his own family and raise his own kids. When asked why he went ahead with this, Meijer stated that he only wanted to help and wanted to do something good with his life. He did clarify that he had lied to some of the women, but just for the sake of helping them. Considering the hundreds of children he has, he was asked if he wanted to meet them personally, to which he responded that it would be too much for him emotionally. While these are his responses to the entire investigation that uncovered his so-called sperm donation addiction, Meijer has also made one of those reaction videos for the trailer of the Netflix documentary. On June 25, Netflix released the official trailer for The Man with 1,000 Kids, and Meijer might have given us the best reaction video on YouTube in the past few days. The first thing that annoys him about the trailer is the opening lines, stating that he might be a father of over 1,000 children. He claims that the title of the documentary is a lie, and says that he has only fathered 550 children. And further, he explains that each of the donor children is a unique individual, even though they come from the same sperm donor. The annoyance makes him say that he might take things against Netflix legally, something Netflix might love to experience, working as their marketing tool. Funnily enough, he adds that he is a perfect donor, which is something we cannot disagree with. However, he does speak some sense when the trailer starts painting him as a criminal figure by talking about his looks being the only reason the parents ended up approaching him. After all, we heard something good about him regarding the fact that he was very approachable and friendly to talk to. But it doesn't take long for him to jump into making arguments regarding the trailer. And in a way, he shares significant details about the parents appearing in the documentary. Meijer mocks the over-dramatic music of the documentary, describing it as a ploy to entertain people. Even though he was prevented from making public comments regarding the entire ordeal, this reaction video has given us a lot of significant information. It's hilarious to see him mock the dramatization of the events, but it's terrifying to know that he's entirely oblivious to what he has done, the consequences that follow, and the fear the parents will carry as their child grows up. Meijer is still proud of what he has done, and takes the fact that this documentary is coming out as a matter of pride. Marvelous verdict. 1,000 kids or not, Netflix knew what content to pick to gain an audience, and it will become even more extensive soon. The one good thing about all this is that there will be a more significant awareness regarding sperm donation, and the laws might get stricter. As we saw, there are a lot of holes in the sperm donation industry, and the fact that someone almost got away without the system catching him proves that it needs to be worked upon more appropriately. We can only hope that the Netflix documentary also manages to give a proper explanation regarding why serial sperm donation can be really harmful to a particular society. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us. If you haven't already, have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!